Esse é meu cantinho aqui em Bali, na Indonésia. Eu fiz um desvio no roteiro do Remote Year, mas já estou há 6 meses na estrada, 3 deles praticamente convivendo com pessoas de costumes e religião islâmica. Por conta dos acontecimentos agora em Paris, eu quis dividir com vocês essa entrevista que eu fiz com uma ativista lá em Penang, na Malásia. Ela fala de questões de gênero, mas dá um bom panorama de como é a vida, o dia a dia das pessoas que têm essa religião e que não são extremistas, que são pessoas que vivem isso no dia a dia. Eu confesso, já faz tempo que eu estou intrigada com essa coisa das mulheres terem que usar o hijab, se cobrir todas, nesse super calor que faz aí. Eu sou brasileira, trabalhei sempre com moda, sempre falei que as pessoas podem se vestir do jeito que elas quiserem, ter o próprio estilo. Então, para mim, sempre incomodou esse dress code, essas limitações. E eu queria saber, perguntei para ela, por exemplo, já que elas são mais cobertas, se isso evita de elas serem assediadas? E como é que é ser gay nesses lugares? Antes disso tudo, a Ruby vai propor para vocês a mesma charada que ela fez numa apresentação e eu achei super bacana pedir para ela repetir.
Hi, my name is Ruby. I am a local activist and community organizer based in Penang, and I focus a lot on equality and social justice issues. So, a young man was involved in a very bad car accident, and his father rushes him off to the nearest hospital. But when he gets there, the doctor takes one look at the young man and says, "I'm sorry, I can't do this operation because this young man is my son." So the riddle is, why did the doctor decline to do the operation?
Yeah, this wouldn't make sense if you tell the same story in Portuguese because we define gender in our pronouns. But I was impressed by how people took so long to get that the doctor was a woman, the mother.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing, right? I've done the riddle thing in different communities of different cultural and ethnic backgrounds, different religious backgrounds, different economic class, and even in groups where they talk about, are supposed to know about gender and equality. And it took them so long to actually really think a woman could be a doctor. Being gay or being queer in Malaysia, just being is already difficult. There is a difference if you're Muslim and non-Muslim. Muslims have the Sharia law, and it's very, very anti-LGBT in a lot of ways. There's also the civil law, not the civil law, but the secular laws, but those are also very anti-LGBT because they haven't been updated since the colonial times, and we still have things like the sodomy law. So those things, as a person, already you have an institution, the law against you, and there is no protection for gay, queer, or trans people in Malaysia. So having a community is even more, it feels like such an outlandish idea to have a community when people even fear to be themselves. Right? A lot of people find a lot of resilience in, instead of just being a victim. I think a lot of people have created pockets of community because of their resilience, and they found a way to connect with each other despite everything, despite all the discrimination. There is immodest dressing or cross-dressing law for both the Sharia law and the secular laws. And that means that they can catch anybody who they deem is cross-dressing. So trans women, especially in Malaysia, because they're very visible, they get arrested a lot. Despite that, actually, an amazing thing happened a few months ago is that a few trans women actually challenged the Sharia law of cross-dressing, and the court actually found it against constitution that we have this law. So it was suspended for a while, but what happened is all the religious groups, and it's institutionalized, so all the states religious department got together and challenged the law again.
Seems more radical than Brazil, but also in some point they touch each other. Because Brazil is seen as a liberal country, full of girls in bikinis, full of gay people having parties, but we're still far away from solving gender discrimination. And recently we have a campaign on social media about sexual harassment. Does the Muslim dress code prevent the woman against it?
Well, that's an interesting conversation to have. So Malaysia is actually not a Muslim country. It's actually supposed to be a secular country based on our constitution. But we like to position, or like the government likes to position itself as a Muslim country. And we had a lot of debates around clothing this past few months, especially because what happened is government departments started doing moral policing of women's clothing and said that women who wear shorts can't go into departments, government departments who are supposed to be serving the people. There was a dress code for women. Of course, they say, this dress code is for everyone, but they only actually use it to regulate women, right? And this is beyond non-Muslims as well. And see, this is the thing about this conversation about modesty, right? If you are modest, then you won't get harassed, or if you're modest, then you won't get violated. But the problem is, it's not the clothing, right? Because the problem is, the root of the cause, the problem is that there is a power imbalance. There is gender inequality. As long as women are seen as objects that men are entitled to, that is never going to go away. So asking the woman to wear a hijab or force them to dress a certain way is not gonna address the problem. Doesn't matter how much you cover up, because old women get raped and harassed. Young girls get raped and harassed. Sometimes young boys get raped. And all these things, it's basically the core is the power, right? Because the core of violence is power over someone, and being able to do that. So trying to push that kind of debate or move the discourse to a power conversation is very, very difficult, because some people just don't want to go there. Because if you start talking about it, then they have to reflect upon themselves and think, how am I perpetuating this power dynamic or this inequality, right? So they like to just say, I'm going to blame the other person. So I think we really need to also take apart, that idea of state regulation of people's private lives or people's choices.